Daniel Lusk and Angela Patnitz. Just a few more questions. Daniel, you teach a course on poets in Vermont. Do you have a favorite? A difficult question, I know.
A terrible question.
Terrible question.
Because there are so many good poets, dozens and dozens of us. One of my favorite poets of all time is Galway Kinnell. I've been a fan of his, have heard him read, 100 times. And I think he's one of the great poets, one of America's great poets.
Well, let me put, is there a flavor to Vermont poets, or are they all over the place, or is there?
No, we're all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, from Angela's writing about Ireland to poets like Sue Burton, whose poems are wild and come from some urban setting somewhere else. And of course, we always begin with Kipling and Robert Frost, and the sort of the foundation of our poetry. But everybody's different.
Yeah. Speaking of place, Angela, you certainly are influenced by your upbringing in Ireland. And how have Irish and American speech or speech patterns or that cadence influenced your work, do you think?
Well,
or even Vermont,
yeah,
if there's one.
That's true. I think becoming a poet means falling in love with language and with words. And I think my brother and sisters and I, we all fell in love with language at an early age. But one of the things I love is slang. I love different kinds of slang, Irish slang, Dublin slang in particular, but American slang too. I mean, I love it because it's so new and fresh, but also because it's so irreverent. And if there's one thing I like, it's irreverence. But it's endlessly creative, and I love discovering those kinds of words and having them trigger poems or just entertain me. I'm always entertained by the spoken word.
Some people are intimidated by poetry. You teach it, you love it. What do you do to get people beyond that? There's a silence here.
Well,
I almost always begin workshops with grown-ups by asking them to make lists of what they remember early on in their lives. To give them the same sense that they have something, they own something that is unique to themselves. And I think that once people discover that that's the stuff of poetry too. You mentioned the other day that you were interested in what poetry is for, what poetry is about. And I think that every poet has a different reason for writing this stuff, and it comes out as different kinds of work. So I'm not sure if that's a.
So it's everybody's internal thing, but it's a place where one can express this stuff.
Right, right, and how formal or how informal or how much related to pop culture and how much related to something antique is really individual.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.